You know, some people watch like really boring like gamer streams on Twitch, and they say that's my sleep stream or a really relaxing one. I'd say Attack on Titan is my sleep anime.
Hello and welcome to the Frag channel. Joining you today is myself, Ben, and I've also got with me Ruben.
Hey guys.
Now, today I'm going to have a chat with Ruben, and I'm going to have a chat with Ruben because Ruben actually sleeps on Attack on Titan. And I say actually because he actually slept while watching Attack on Titan. Do you want to elaborate on how that happened exactly?
Um, well, not to get too much of the discussion out early, but when it just didn't have me at the edge of my seat. It didn't keep me wanting more. And how some people watch like really boring like gamer streams on Twitch, and they say that's my sleep stream or a really relaxing one. I'd say Attack on Titan is my sleep anime.
Alright, I think you're just memeing when you say that, but you actually slept on it. Why did you sleep on it? Like what was so bad about the show that you had to sleep on it, by the way? And tell them the same thing you told me as well. Tell them how there's shows that you kind of just like smoke through and get a nice little nap, and there's shows that you just sleep through naturally, like AOT. That's what you told me.
Okay. Okay. So
it's not
there's
it's not even a show in which you can just kind of like chill out, have a nice doobie.
well, so I've got ADD, so when I fully get into something, I'm super into it. So if I start watching it like a new show that I really like, I'll start watching it, and suddenly it'll be 3 a.m. and I'm like, wait, shit, I gotta wake up at 8 a.m. or something. And with Attack on Titan, like I was just like, well, when is this episode gonna end? Oh, and then I was talking to my friends who overhyped it, which by the way, I think if someone overhypes it, it has to live up to the hype. Otherwise, it's gonna like passively make it worse. But and then I said, just wait till like maybe episode 7 or so, and then by episode 13, I was just thinking, when's the good part happening? And then I went back to my friends and they said, well, wait till he transforms, and I'm like, oh, I'm well past that.
So you've only watched season one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And season one, you said you slept on episode 7 by the time you got to episode 7.
Something like episode 7, 9, maybe 13.
Wait,
Yeah.
wasn't this that I really like? What happened in that episode, if you can recall?
On that exact episode, I think it might have been the one where they put him on trial. They're like, well, he's the enemy, he's the Titan, and they're trying to decide whether he can be useful or he's just going to turn on them.
I see.
It was around that time when I first fell asleep. I like to give TV shows a good run and give them a season to before I give up on them.
I get the argument where things can be overhyped. I I feel like I experienced that a lot myself. People say a lot of good things about a show, and then I watch it, and I'm like, it ruins it for me because I have too high expectations, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
right. Like,
it's just a show. It's just a typical show. But for me, I I also saw some of the hype around Attack on Titan, and when I watched it, it was I actually really liked it. In fact, I like it so much. It's probably my second favorite anime behind Death Note. That's how much I liked it. Despite all the overhyping, it was just a banger. It was really good. but
well, on the topic of like overhyping, like I don't even watch. I try to avoid like watching like advertisements for new movies. I prefer to just go in it with
I,
no expectations, so then you can only build up.
I agree, but like yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes people do have wrong opinions, Ruben, and I think you had the wrong
Oh,
opinion here.
oh boy,
All right, all right.
a lot of people have been saying.
Okay, for if there's anyone who's actually wondering, why do you? So, what in particular? What aspects of the show? What scenes? What characters? What story elements? What made you not like the show? What made it such a sleeper for you? An actual sleeper.
Well, I'd say the core of any TV show, anime, movie is characters. You don't like the story behind it can be complete out of shit. But if the characters are quirky, lovable, relatable, even, then you're going to be attached to that show.
Mm-hmm.
And all the characters I found were completely bland, except for that. Like the only one that was slightly edgy was that
Levi.
girl that
Oh,
was she the one
Mikasa.
that was like the adopted girl that was the
Yeah,
swarm protector.
Mikasa.
So she was like slightly edgy, but even she was kind of bland. But that's only my first issue, but I think that's like the main issue. Like
So
the
you didn't like her character because she was bland?
no, I'm saying that she was the best of all the characters. Like she was the most kind of anime, I guess, like edgy.
Okay, so you liked her the
But
most.
but even saying that, that's just like she's like the poo that floated to the top of the toilet bowl.
Oh, that's an analogy to make. And so you're saying that she was the only likable character, and even her as a
Oh no, no,
character
I know.
was
I didn't
just
say she was likable. I just said she was the best.
and the best is still a piece of shit.
Yeah, but that's it. The character is like I'd say the main issue because it could literally be, like I said, about
So
anything.
if Mikasa was the character that you despised the least, what was the character that you despised the most?
Everyone else is kind of just like a equal second.
Everyone. Yeah,
Well, I didn't get
there
too
wasn't
into it, so
one. There
I didn't
wasn't.
think like deep analysis of every single character because I wasn't super into it.
That's right. You slept on it. You can barely. You can barely remember.
I made sure to rewatch what I slept on.
Well, you actually rewatched it.
Oh yeah, I hate when I sleep on something that I'm watching for the first time. I always make sure to watch something at least once.
Okay. Despite what you say, though, you also told me that you want to continue watching the rest of Attack on Titan. Why?
Oh no, I didn't say that I wanted to continue, but everyone's like, "Oh, you got to wait till season 4 for the good part now." But I'm like, "But didn't you tell me a couple of years ago that like episode 7 was when it started getting good?" Yeah. I don't want to sit through 3 bland seasons to finally get to the good part. That's just not right.
Yeah, I mean, especially since you didn't like the first season, and most people love the first season, so that's
One thing that was matched the hype of its of people talking to it was the song. The song was amazing.
yeah, and so you like the opening as well.
Yep. Not something that I'll say about a lot of animes, but credit where credit's due.
Fair, fair.
That was a hype song. It got me hyped listening to it. Then I had to remember that after that song, it's just gone downhill from there.
Mm. Well, I know that the latest season is a bit of a clusterfuck. In the fandom at least, from what I hear, I haven't seen too much, but apparently lots of people are salty over things. I won't spoil it for you if you do want to end up watching it later.
Do you want to hear about my other complaints?
Yes, what other? I didn't think you analyzed enough, but okay, you got some more complaints.
No,
What
just
else?
the characters. I think if you had good characters, lovable characters, then it wouldn't matter what I'm watching. But the pacing was terrible. Like it went from like some weird like original scene to straight into the camp, and then it went slow again, then fast again, then he became the Titan, and super fast, and then it went back to slow storytelling. Yeah, and the characters, they got like super overly emotional. Like they lost their shit every time anything bad happens. It's like supremely over emotional, and then some episodes you'd wait 90% of the time for them to get over that emotion and do something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I, I when I so let me tell you when I first watched it. When I first watched Attack on Titan, I'm pretty sure I binged all of it in a day. It was that good. Like, I sat down for the first episode and I was like, dude, this shit's good. This opening's a banger. I want to see what's happening with the rest of this show. And then the rest of the day, I just sat down and I binged the whole thing. So yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with pacing per se. Okay, the pacing was shit. The characters were shit. Anything else?
Um, have you ever watched an anime called Interspecies Reviewers?
No, but I heard about it. Of course, I've heard about it.
Basically, the plot is just utter bullshit, and it's just like so stupid. The show, but the characters are lovable, which is why I watched. I mean, it's only a 5 episode anime, but I sped through them. It's just
Wait,
that about them like rating like various prostitutes in their land and writing reviews on it.
it's only
And
five episodes. I thought it was like a full 12 episode anime.
it might have been 12 episodes. I don't know. It was a very short anime.
Yeah,
Either way, the story was complete like other like just vomit, and it was kind of like a vulgar topic that like if someone was seeing you watch it over your shoulder, they'd think you're weird, kind of thing.
mhm.
But you know, the characters were like they'll just so funny and quirky that it kept me going. That's a good example of how you don't need a good everything else, just characters to keep you watching something.
True. So the characters weren't good for you in Attack on Titan, and the story was badly paced.
And the
And
emotions.
that's the emotions. What about the emotions?
It was like watching Dragon Ball from the 90s. It's like I'm gonna wait like 12 episodes for Gohan to get over his emotions and finally fight Cell and go Super Saiyan 2. And then I'm gonna watch 3 episodes watching him go Super Saiyan 2.
It wasn't that bad in Attack on Titan.
No, that's just a like a more extreme example, but it's just like an outdated like what they do in anime. Like you don't see that much in modern anime. Like 90% of an episode for an emotion, and maybe even 2 episodes dedicated to one emotion, and then finally they do something about it. That's a pretty significant time in like modern animes. Almost a filler episode.
Yeah, look, I don't have a very good memory. I can't remember specifically everything that happens in Attack on Titan, but I remember how I felt when I watched it, and I felt really good watching it because it was just really fun. That's why I binged it. That's why it's like this. That's why it's my second favorite. It did a lot of good things to earn that spot. So um, yeah, I think look, like people like to clown on Eren and like his emotions. I'm gonna kill him, but I thought it was fine. Like there was still a interesting story. You had these Titans going around just killing off all these characters that you got to know throughout the anime and stuff, and it was good. I think one of the reasons a lot of people liked it as well was because there's no like plot armor. Like a lot of characters that die, and strong characters as well. So, well, that that changes later, but yeah, at least in the first season, that's kind of what it was like, and not a lot of other anime do that. So that's one of the other reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I liked it, and I think a lot of other people liked it as well.
Think about the new season of Seven Deadly Sins. How did you think the pacing went for that?
Seven Deadly Sins, the latest season.
The later season.
I thought it was fine. Like I know people didn't like it a lot, but I thought it was fine. Like I think it gets more shit than it needs. Like it's not like it's amazing, but it's not terrible.
It was so fast, like ridiculously fast paced, as opposed to random pace in like, Attack on Titan. Like it went straight from A to B with like no like logical transition.
Well,
It was
explain that.
it was
Explain that
like
because I can't
it's
see
just
it.
like it's just like it started off. They're fighting various demons, and then it goes straight into King and Dion getting kidnapped, and then it goes straight into like, oh hi, I'm Goku from the above, and then straight, and it's like, oh hi, I'm Milios, we're going into battle. You know, there was like no time to breathe, and
I guess, yeah, kind of, but like
it
it's
slowed,
almost
it did slow down
yeah, but
kind of
like
towards the end, but the start was
this
like so
season
poorly
some
paced.
wasn't this season something that was being built up? Like we kind of expected like a war or some like big battles to happen, and I guess that there's not enough time to kind of like show other things, and I'm sure it was following the manga as well when it was doing it. So
I mean,
I
they had a
people
new studio.
yeah, but people shit on the anime exclusively from what I can see, rather than the manga as well. They're saying that the animation was bad. Like that's one of the reasons why they hate it so much. Not necessarily the pacing,
But
but
people who shit
but
on animations, they freeze frame like 1 second of the whole like episode and say, "Oh, look at this! This part was poorly drawn," and it's like, who cares?
yeah. Well, anyway, before this turns into a Seven Deadly Sins video, so
Oh, no, just quickly, lastly, on that point, they're like they fit the same amount of like significant events in previous seasons, and that's what made the pacing bad in the future season, and that's what the topic of pacing that I want to talk about, not so much Seven Deadly Sins.
So just so you just things like random events just kept popping up and up and up and up, and that's why you didn't like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, well, I mean, they kept popping up, but it was like the pacing as opposed to Seven Deadly Sins was like when lightning fast, lightning fast. It just went like slow, lightning fast, slow, 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 slower, lightning fast, fast, slow, slow. Yeah,
Okay,
it was kind of like random tempo.
okay, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
There was a
You're free to believe that. Basically, I know that in the first season it switched to like because not all the characters are in the same spot, so it's like it switches from one place to another place. Oh, what's Levi doing? Oh, what's Eren up to? Oh, Mikasa's slaying a Titan. Like oh, you know, and then it goes to I forget Eren's friend, the smart dude. It switched to him, and that's probably where it starts slowing down a bit more. So I can see it, but it never really got in the way of me when I was enjoying it. It was just another scene to kind of like enjoy. It didn't matter to me whether it was slower or not because it was still just all made up well. So, is that it, Ruben? Those were the 3 points:
and
characters,
the combat wasn't very
pace,
cool.
combat.
I mean, it's like I said, I wouldn't call it a shonen, but like but like I don't know what type of genre you give it, but you see weird type of combat like in Code Geass, Gundam, and they do it nice. But those things that they wore, just like it didn't feel very good to watch. Those things that they fly around the city.
Okay, so you also didn't like the combat. All right,
I'd
now
say combat is a significant theme in the show.
Uh, you know, that's interesting because, like, yeah, there's a lot of combat in Attack on Titan, but I don't feel like that's also one of the biggest focuses. It seems, cause, I don't know, man. I don't think I can even explain that properly, but yeah. Okay, this video is going on for a bit. How about we sum up quickly what else you didn't like, and yeah, basically, sum it all up, Ruben. What else? What else is left?
We got poor pacing, unlovable characters. Um, combat was not great. It's kind of predictable as well.
What? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, you can believe that. I don't think that's the case because I think season one had like a lot
So
less plot armor. But okay.
I bet in future seasons more people turn into Titans.
Oh shit. Are you a fortune teller? All right. So that's it, right? Combat, characters, pacing. I think there was something else, but I don't remember. But so those are some of the main points of what made you sleep on it. You're just like, oh, I don't care about these characters enough, and oh, I was switching over to another boring character, and I just don't care enough, and all this combat's just shit, and then you just doze off.
I
That's
don't
it.
mind character switching. The whole thing as a whole was just it wasn't captivating. I wanted to get into it. I wanted to get into it so bad, but everyone was talking about it. That no,
Okay. Well, I think that kind of sums up a good deal of it. The man who slept on Attack on Titan. Anyway,
exclusive interview only found here.
exclusive interview.
Like, subscribe, and watch more of our videos for more of this type of content.
Nah, none of that shit. I'll give you the proper outro. Anyway, for anyone who was watching, if you did like it, feel free to leave a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to leave a dislike. Also, feel free to give us a message why you liked it, why you didn't like it. We're open to criticism. So yeah, and yeah, if you did enjoy, then that's great, and you can look forward to other videos coming up as well. But that's been this video on Ruben's sleeping through Attack on Titan. Yeah, we'll see what else what else we've got to come up. Um, maybe some Higurashi videos as well. Anyway, that's been us for this video. So yeah, catch us later. Bye.